So do you live from a place of fear within your head, or do you live from a place of love from within your heart? Meaning, do you identify with the ego, or do you identify with your soul? If you're identifying with the ego, that means you've built up a false identity. Okay, you have all these roles you play. You're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a teacher, you're a whatever, right? That's a ego you've built up. That's a narrative you built up. Okay, and if you're strongly attached to these identities and these roles, you're identifying with an ego. Okay, and when things come crashing down, it can be really hard to deal with it because you're not attuned to who you really are, your true nature, your true self, which is the soul, identifying with the soul, with the spirit. Okay, and why I say living from an ocean of love is because you can think of the divine, eternal God spirit as an ocean, and you're just a wave on that. You're a wave that goes up and down. Okay, but you can never be separated from the ocean because you are a piece of God. You are a piece of that ocean. You are pure, unconditional love. Okay, so the more you can get attuned to that and recognize that and know that and internalize that, okay, the more you will identify with that as your true nature, identifying with the soul rather than identifying with the ego, which will bring nothing but anxiety and fear and distress, especially if all that comes crashing down. If you lose your job that you've identified yourself with for 30 years or whatever, right? Then who are you? You start asking yourself. You have this existential crisis of who am I, right? Well, if you start practicing this now and internalizing this now and knowing who you really are, which is pure unconditional love and a piece of the love ocean, then you're identified with soul, and that will bring you peace and that will bring calm. And I've done a lot of other videos on this, on talking about knowing who you really are and breaking down the false narratives of your ego and your identity, and not letting your mind and your thoughts control you, which bring you fear. Okay. So anyway, that's something to think about, guys. Thinking about identifying with your soul instead of identifying with the mind and the head and the ego. So it's your soul snack of the day. Hope it helps. Know you're loved and blessed. Have a great one.